All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this special Valentine's weekend show, Subversive Love Songs with Charlie King and Tret Fure. I hope you enjoy the show.
All right, here we go. It was the 3rd of June, another sleepy, dusty Delta day. I was out chopping cotton and my brother was baling hay. And at dinner time we stopped and walked back to the house to eat. And Mama hollered from the back door, y'all remember to wipe your feet. And then she said, I heard some news this morning from Choctaw Ridge. Today Billy Joe McAllister jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge. You're a half step too high, I think, Charlie. Or a full step too high. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Old note. Papa said to Mama as he passed around the black-eyed peas. Well, Billy Joe never had a lick of sense. Pass the biscuits, please. There's 5 more acres in the lower 40 I got to plow. And Mama said it was a shame about Billy Joe anyhow. Seems like nothing ever comes to any good up on Choctaw Ridge. And now Billy Joe McAllister's jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge.
And brother said he recollected when he and Tom and Billy Joe put a frog down my back at the Carroll County Picture Show. And wasn't I talking to him after church last Sunday night? I'll have another piece of apple pie. You know it just don't seem right. I saw him at the sawmill yesterday up on Choctaw Ridge. And now Billy Joe McAllister has jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge.
Mama said, child, what's happened to your appetite? I've been cooking all day and you haven't touched a single bite. That nice young preacher brother Taylor dropped by today. Said he'd be pleased to have dinner on Sunday. Oh, by the way, he said he saw a girl that looked like you up on Choctaw Ridge. And she and Billy Joe McAllister was throwing something off the Tallahatchie Bridge.
Well, a year has come and gone since we heard about Billy Joe. And brother married Becky Thompson and they bought a store in Tupelo. There was a virus going round, Papa caught it, and he died last spring. And now Mama doesn't seem to want to do much of anything. And me, I spend a lot of time picking flowers up on Choctaw Ridge. And I drop them in the muddy water off the Tallahatchie Bridge.
When I was in high school, Cardinal Spellman High School, everybody was going crazy trying to figure out what they'd thrown off the Tallahatchie Bridge. A very
Exactly.
effective device, by the way.
It was, yeah. And then they made a movie came out in '67 because I remember playing it in high school, playing that song. And then they made a movie in 1970 starring Robbie Benson. I mean, she and Max Baer Jr. wrote the screenplay. I still don't know. I don't know. I never watched the movie, so I don't know if they ever told us what they were tossing off the Tallahatchie Bridge. I'd have to watch the movie, and I don't know if I'm that invested in it. So, but it's a great song. I'm so glad you chose that. Now, this next song has nothing really to do with the desperation of thwarted love or young love that's not fulfilled. But it is a love song, and this is I call this my pandemic love song, because I wrote it obviously during the pandemic. I did release an album during the pandemic called Stone by Stone, but I wrote this one after I had already released that, and I was not going to record it because I figured people are just really done with the pandemic, but everybody loved this song, and it talks about that first year because we don't really want to forget that time. That was a very remarkable and tragic in many ways, and also a big learning curve during that time. But this sort of talks about for me, my first year of the pandemic. It's called Peanut Butter Toast. Well, the side door opens and you walk inside. I say, hey, baby, what you doing? You've been in so many meetings that you're bleary-eyed. I say, hey, baby, how you doing? It's cold out there, won't you come to me? I'll hold you till you're warm in the center. I'll hold you all through the winter. It's been the longest year that has ever come. I say, hey, baby, don't you think it? 12 months and counting and we're still not done. I say, hey, baby, don't you think it? I went down to the corner just to get away, but I ran right back to your embrace. I had to see that smile on your face. So give me a little of your coffee, give me a little of your time. Make me some toast in the morning, put a little peanut butter on one side, and I'll give you a little of my love, and I'll give you even more of my heart. Make sure that you write me a letter when we next find ourselves apart, 'cause I don't ever, 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 ever want to lose your love. Well, how about we go down to the sushi bar? I say, hey, baby, wanna do it? Put on a sweater and get in the car. I say, hey, baby, wanna do it? We can sit at the counter where there's no one else and have a little bit of private conversation, the closest thing to a vacation. So give me a little of your coffee, give me a little of your time. Make me some toast in the morning, put a little peanut butter on one side, and I'll give you a little of my love, and I'll give you even more of my heart. Make sure that you write me a letter when we next find ourselves apart, 'cause I don't ever, 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 ever want to lose your love. Well, every day feels the same, even though every day is new. You and I are the lucky ones. You've got me and I've got you. Well, pretty soon we'll be swimming in the deep blue sea. I say, hey, baby, can you feel it? Take off your mask and jump in with me. I say, hey, baby, can you feel it? We'll remember those days, we'll remember these nights, because we never really want to forget. It's brought us closer together, you bet. So give me a little of your coffee, give me a little of your time. Make me some toast in the morning, put a little peanut butter on one side, and I'll give you a little of my love, and I'll give you even more of my heart. Make sure that you write me a letter when we next find ourselves apart. 'Cause I don't ever, 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 ever want to lose your love. No, I don't ever, 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 ever want to lose your love.
Lovely.
Thank you.
No wonder people wanted to get that song.
Yeah, I had to do it.
Sweet. What a nice image.
Thanks.
Yeah, and a nice way to remember the good things about hunkering down in your own home with your beloved.
Well, we wouldn't be doing these things if it weren't for the pandemic, true. Because it taught us how to do shows online. We were stuck.
Right.
We had to learn right away.
Yeah.
Pardon me? What'd you say, Charlie?
Oh, I said that's certainly true for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just didn't have the sense to buy any stock in Zoom when it all started coming
Yeah,
out.
I know. We should have. Yeah.
Well,
right.
T.R. Ritchie was a wonderful songwriter. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us. But he wrote a song about the importance of loving in times like these, and dreaming, singing. And it's a very elaborate zipper song, so if you know it, or if you can figure it out, sing it with me. If you don't know it by the second or third pass, you should. People say to me, oh, you gotta be crazy. How can you sing in times like these? Don't you read the news? Don't you know the score? How can you sing when so many others grieve? People say to me, what kind of fool believes that a song will make a difference in the end? By way of a reply, I say a fool such as I, who sees a song as somewhere to begin. A song is somewhere to begin. A search for something worth believing in. If changes are to come, there are things that must be done, and a song is somewhere to begin. People say to me, you gotta be crazy. How can you dream in times like these? Don't you read the news? Don't you know the score? How can you dream when so many others grieve? People say to me, what kind of fool believes that a dream will make a difference in the end? By way of a reply, I say a fool such as I, who sees a dream as somewhere to begin. A dream is somewhere to begin. A search for something worth believing in. If changes are to come, there are things that must be done, and a dream is somewhere to begin. People say to me, you gotta be crazy. How can you love in times like these? Don't you read the news? Don't you know the score? How can you love when so many others grieve? People say to me, what kind of fool believes that love will make a difference in the end? By way of a reply, I say, a fool such as I, who sees love as somewhere to begin. Love is somewhere to begin. A search for something worth believing in. If changes are to come, there are things that must be done, and love is somewhere to begin, and a dream is somewhere to begin, and a song is somewhere to begin. T.R. Ritchie.
Beautiful song. And so important in these times when we are surrounded by so much hatred. And love is what we need. Love is somewhere to begin. Yeah.
Must be why we're here tonight, Tret.
I guess so. Yep. What's next, Charlie?
Well, let's see. What can I tell you about this? It was written about a broken campaign promise, but that's long past history. That's going back to Bill Clinton. Mm-hmm. But it's a story I made up. I don't make up a lot of stories. Mostly I write about people that I read about, but this one just came out of nowhere.
But it's a true story. I mean, it's a real story, so yeah.
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 Wayne was a bashful kid, grew up on Nashville, dreamed of the smoky old West. His dad's a straight shooter, told Wayne a recruiter would help him put hair on his chest. He signed up for Fort Benning, he liked all the men, he made friends with a shake and a grin. Met the men he liked most at a bar off the post. It's the first place Wayne ever fit in. But the neon sign over the bar, hung under the howitzer shell, flashed the saddest words Wayne ever saw. Don't ask, don't tell.
Wanda could flaunt it, knew just what she wanted, got started in ROTC. Outdid all the men, outranked half of Fort Benning, outspoken, outrageous, and free. The night was her cover, she'd waltz her wild lover out under the big Georgia moon. But tonight it was raining, and she ran into Wayne in the heart of that same old saloon. But the neon sign over the bar, hung under the howitzer shell, flashed the saddest words they ever saw. Don't ask, don't tell.
Wayne mumbles, howdy, she says.
Hello, cowboy. I don't believe we've met before.
Wayne's new in the service. He gulps his drink nervously, keeping one eye on the door. She says,
It's no crime here. Is this your first time here?
He raises his glass to to the sign. She says,
everyone here's got their own opinion. Now you're gonna listen to mine. What I read in that sign is a forward prescription for life in your own private hell. It's a great compromise. They say wear a disguise and everything's gonna be swell. You're only as sick as your secret, and only the truth sets you free. You're only alone till you speak it. Ask me, tell me.
Wayne smiles at Wanda, then flags the bartender. Wanda says,
this one's on me.
They sit swapping stories, old guilt and old glory, old secrets and old memories.
They plan their attack. Wanda covers his back while Wayne pulls the plug on the sign.
As they waltz across the parking lot, rain finally starts to stop. Big old moon starting to shine. Oh, says,
only as sick as your secret, and only the truth sets you free. You're only alone till you speak it. Ask me, tell me.
Ask me, tell me.
It's a powerful song.
Thanks, Tret.
Unfortunately, we're going back to those times where people have to see each other in secret. I remember those days when I was in LA in the early 70s, going to the gay bars, and they were still pretty dark places. And you only went because you knew where it was. But times have moved forward, but now we're kind of in a bad place again, I'm afraid. That song made me think of this song of mine, where that song is about two gay friends. This is about my trans son. Lauren and I have two trans children, and we're very worried about them right now because of what's going on in this administration. And fortunately, they're both up in Boston, which is a pretty safe place to be at this point, but I don't know for how long. But I wanted to share the song because of that, and it's our oldest, Nat, transitions female to male in 2013 to 14. And he came to Lauren by phone, by messenger, I think, basically, and said he was having his breasts removed. And she said, you mean reduced? Because he had very large breasts as a woman. And he said, no. And she goes, are you trans? And he said, yeah. He was worried about telling us. And she said, this was her response. Oh my God, I'm going to have to change the name on your Christmas stocking. That was her biggest concern. Because she made handmade Christmas stockings for all the kids with Celtic cross-stitch names. So she had to remove the cross-stitching and redo it with his new name. And then she said, you have to come home and after your surgery, and I will help you stay with us so I can help you with the drainage. And that's how it should be. It's how it should be in this world. And we hope it will get back to that at some point. You've come into your own like only you imagined. A choice you made yourself. No celebrity, no fashion. A glass about to break. The shell around your heart. Now you have a choice, a map, a means, the chart. How hard to find an answer that can free you like a song. How hard to tend a body in which you do not belong. the calling of your true self, the calling of your heart. Now you have a choice, a map, a means, the chart. Sometimes we are born into the wrong place in time. Sometimes it's so long to dress gender. But it isn't ever simple, and wrong can still be right. And the heart should always be tender. Well, I fell into a family that has love as its back door, and it's always swinging wide for the richest and the poor. And there's room for every shape and size, room for every heart. And you have a choice, a map, a means, the chart. Sometimes we are born into the wrong place in time. Sometimes it's as simple as gender. But it isn't ever simple, and wrong can still be right. And the heart should always be tender. The challenge is acceptance in each and every hour. No matter what the package, no matter where the power. But the toughest transition is to open up our hearts. But we have a choice, a map, a means, the chart. Sometimes we can step into the right place in time. Sometimes it's no longer the pretender. Still it isn't ever simple, and wrong can still be right. And the heart should always be tender. And the heart should always be tender. And the heart should always be tender. Ooh.
Thank you. Powerful. Much needed.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree.
What an adventure.
Mm-hmm. It certainly is.
Let's stay in this same territory with a song by Andrew Lawrence, If Loving You Were a Dangerous Thing. Would I ever hold your hand on our own front porch on a bright summer's day? Somehow I feel I'm in the wrong register. Would I ever hold your hand on our own front porch on a bright summer's day like today? Now I'm stymied here. What am I going to do? I'm playing in one key and singing in another. What I'm doing is I'm stripping the thin veneer that separates the audience from the performer by being as human as I could possibly be and vulnerable in the moment.
There you go.
Would I ever hold your hand on our own front porch on a bright summer's day like today? Would the neighbors shoot the breeze? Would they let their children play? Would it mean enough to both of us to throw it all away? Reaching out to hold your hand. If loving you were a dangerous thing, could I ever kiss your mouth on a crowded street, on a rush of this love in my heart? If the sun were on your hair and a smile upon your face, all around the baying hounds were hard upon the chase, could I ever kiss your mouth? If loving you were a dangerous thing. Some night come a brick through a window. Someday some push comes to shove. No, not for you and I. Long as we're walking man and woman, we're safe between the barbs on the wire of love. But would we have ever found our way to a place called home if the signs had all warned us away? Would I love you from afar? Would I ever find the time that the time was right to face the fight for what was rightly mine? Would we have ever found our way if loving you were a dangerous thing?
Oh, you find great songs, boy. These are powerful, timely pieces in so many ways. Thank you for that.
Yeah, you bet. How about a little John Prine?
Yeah, how about that? Or mail delivery. The mail deliverer turned into a fantastic folk songwriter.
I just wish I'd heard this song when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Donald and Lydia.
Yeah.
Small town, bright lights, Saturday night. Pinballs and pool halls flashing their lights, making change behind the counter in a penny arcade. Sat the wallflower daughter of Virginia and Ray, Lydia.
Lydia's thoughts without any trace, hid behind eyes sunk deep in her face. She read romance magazines up in her room, felt less like Sunday on a Saturday afternoon. But dreaming just comes natural, like the first breath from a baby, like sunshine feeding daisies, like the love hidden deep in your heart. Bunk beds, shaved heads, Saturday night, a warehouse of strangers with 60-watt lights, staring through the ceiling, just wanting to be one of too many young PFCs. Donald.
There were spaces between Donald and whatever he said. Strangers had forced him to live in his head. He envisioned the details of romantic scenes after midnight in the stillness of the barracks latrine. But dreaming just comes natural, like the first breath from a baby, like sunshine feeding daisies, like the love hidden deep in your heart. Hot love, cold love, no love at all. A portrait of guilt is hung on the wall. Nothing is wrong, nothing is right. Donald and Lydia made love that night. Love.
They made love in the mountains, they made love in the streams, they made love in the valleys, they made love in their dreams. And when they were finished, there was nothing to say, 'cause mostly they made love from 10 miles away. But dreaming just comes natural, like the first breath from a baby, like sunshine feeding daisies, like the love hidden deep in our hearts.
John Prine.
John Prine. Yeah.
I love that line. It felt just like Saturday on Sunday.
Sunday afternoon. He's such a great...
No, wrong. I said it wrong. Felt just like Sunday on
a Saturday afternoon. Right. Yeah.
That's why I don't write lines like that.
He was the best vignette writer. I mean, he just wrote these beautiful, picturesque stories. His melodies didn't alter a lot of similarity in his music, but his lyrics were just wonderful Americana stories. I just loved that about him. And that song, made me think about this song. Because, the song talks about difficult love, the uncomfortable. A lot of people find love only in dreams and not in reality because it's too hard. And that's a lot of what that song is about. Is they made love in their dreams. And I wanted to follow it with this song because this was a song I wrote. One of my songwriting workshops I teach on Whidbey Island. This year is our 14th. This summer is our 14th year, and the same people come every year, so I have to come up with new stuff every year. And a couple of years ago, I decided we would pick a word from a book I was reading, and then you would find 5 associative words, and you would have to write a paragraph using those 6 words, and then that paragraph had to turn into the song, and all the words had to appear in the first 2 verses. And the word I chose was strained, and my associative words were awkward, uneasy, labored, choked, and stiff. And when I looked at these words, it just made sense to write this song about uncomfortable love. It's called The Language of Love. Strained touch, we held back so much, that awkward stare, so hard to bear. We were so uneasy in the language of love, the language of love. We labored for years, choked by our fears. Stiffly we held back, we just didn't have the knack. We were so uneasy in the language of love, the language of love. How is it that some have no fear at all? Not afraid of flying, not afraid of the fall, feeling only love and light and laughter. This is what my heart is truly after. How would things have stacked if we were loose and laid back? No self-conscious days, just comfortable ways. But we were so uneasy in the language of love, the language of love. How is it that some have no fear at all? Not afraid of flying, not afraid of the fall, feeling only love and light and laughter. This is what my heart is truly after. Movie screens, lovesick dreams, how would this be for you and me? Letting go of all we know and finding a new way home. But we were so uneasy in the language of love, the language of love. Yeah, we were so uneasy in the language of love, the language of love.
Sweet.
Yeah.
My. Well, I have to say, if you would have assigned me those 6 words, I would have been quite daunted by it. I certainly wouldn't have turned it into such a lovely song. So thanks for that.
Yeah, they were hard words, but that's what I chose. So. And that's what I got.
So I think this is only our one and only mind disaster song tonight. So
Right.
takes a little bit of explanation, I think. I've been touring for quite a while with an amazing songwriter, singer, performer, Rick Burkhart. I met him when he was touring with the Prince Michigans, he and Andy Grisovich. And so we've been able to do a lot of work together. And last October, we did a Midwest tour, and every night I got to hear him sing this song. And so I thought I would give it a try. Rick's a pretty demanding songwriter to perform his works. The scene is in the iron country of northern Minnesota, and a trip that Rick took with a very dear friend of his, Ben Litke. And it was to the area where there are a lot of beautiful lakes, but what you find out when you get close to them is that the lakes used to be mines, iron mines, and they've all filled up with water, and one of them filled up with water when all the miners were down in there. And it's one of the worst mining disasters in history. The miners were almost entirely immigrants. The U.S. media had advertised in the local papers in European countries seeking people to come over and work in the mines. And I think pretty well tells itself. Let's see if I can tell it for you. It's a song of the Milford Mine. The Milford Mine caved in 1924. No one mines iron there anymore. But they put up some signs behind the rust-red lakes. And you brought me here, it was your favorite place. And I'm just saying, I noticed that. Fred lived in Austria, Frank in Croatia, where American mines advertised in the papers. Come find the kind of fortune you can make in the mines behind the ice on Foley Lake. And I'm just saying, I noticed that. You had already been to all the former mines. You had already read all 41 signs. You lay your head where the ore lies, 175 feet below the ground. The siren blows and the lamps blow out. The skip tender winds the cord of the siren round his belt, while the drift fills in with the lake ice melt. And I'm just saying, I noticed that. Weren't happy when I took a selfie. I know it's a habit, I know it's not healthy. Can't you see I'm trying to freeze time and melt me? They found Frank and Fred on the edge of the summer, in the mud-flooded tunnel, arms round each other. The sign showed a quote from a friend of Fred's wife. It said, partners in death as well as in life. And I'm just saying, I noticed that. I'm just saying, I noticed that.
Wow. That's quite a song. That's a beautiful, simple refrain that leaves a lot of space for thought. That's lovely. That's hard.
Rick Burkhardt.
Yeah.
You are here.
The Iron Range of Minnesota. I know it well.
Yeah. That's right. You have family up on the UP?
Yeah, well, a lot of my family's in Minnesota, but we lived in Marquette, and interestingly, there are iron ore mines there. My mother is an immigrant, an Italian, and when we moved up to the UP, she was very upset because she didn't think she'd find any Italian people, and she missed her Italian. We lived in Chicago, so she could go to Little Italy, but she discovered that most of the people up there are either of Finnish heritage or Italian, because the same thing. They reached out to the Italians and the Finns to come and work the mines. So she met this woman, Mrs. Andriacki, who had a little Italian store in Ishpeming, Michigan, and I used to take her every week to go talk to Mrs. Andriacki and buy her cold cuts. Yeah. They're still
How do we segue into this? You want to tell us about Marie? One thing I liked about it was that we're sort of coming to a point where we're going to depend on the legal system to protect us from the authorities. But
I know, absolutely.
That's not the kind of thing you want to say on Valentine's Day. You want to sing a love song, so let's sing a love song.
Let's do that. I forget what Laura. Do you remember her last name? Who wrote this song?
Laura Berkson.
Laura Berkson. That's right.
Yeah.
But it was made famous by Ronnie Gilbert. She sang it, a beautiful version of it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Right. Holly and Ronnie recorded
Holly and Ronnie
that
recorded
great live recording that they did.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's another story behind that, but let's sing this song instead.
Mm-hmm.
She stands in a room. She looks in the mirror. She tries the gown on. This one is special, the one she's picked out for the senior prom. But there won't be a boy on her arm taking her out to dance. Her ticket was 1 in a million, and she's taking the chance. Waltz her around the floor, Marie. You're dancing for all that you believe. There's still a few more fancy steps you must learn, and the prom's just a few days away. So won't you waltz her around the floor, whoa, Marie. Two young women companions took their case from the Salinas High School to court, related their story, and waited for the judge's report. And he said, this ticket's for couples, and as far as I could see, a couple's two people, and we don't check ID. So go on, dear, dance, let the school deal with me. Take her on out, Marie.
Waltz her around the floor, Marie. You're dancing for all that you believe. The judge says your presence won't harm all the others who stand on the sidelines to see. So waltz her around the floor, oh Marie. The crepe paper hung, the music's begun, the crowd's coming in. Two women walk arm in arm down the path to the gym. And they walk through the door just as proud as can be. Step in a gown and a tux for Marie. And they each wear an orchid, and you know they'll both lead. Stepping out, Stephanie and Marie. Oh, waltz her around the floor, Marie. You're dancing for all that you believe. You know that your presence may raise a few eyebrows, but the smiles will be loving you'll see. So waltz her around and around and around. Waltz her around and around and around. You'll win all the dance concerts. Take her on out, Marie.
Right. True story.
Great song. Yep, true story. And a great song.
May we have many more like that.
Absolutely.
So we're moving into our dark Leonard Cohen section.
Yeah. Oh, I love Leonard Cohen.
Yeah.
All right, when I discovered him in high school, I wanted to learn everything he wrote at, back in the late 60s. He's written a lot since, for sure.
Yeah.
But this was one of my favorites. I used to sing this. I sang this in high school. I used to do the sunrise service at the Lutheran church where we went. And I always sang this song in service because to me it seemed like such a beautiful spiritual song. Now this is the only song he ever wrote in one sitting, because he's such a poet. You know, he worked and worked on his lyrics as he did on his poetry. But this he wrote in one sitting, and he wrote it because he was thrown out of a hotel bar up in Alberta, and he was in a snowstorm. He was left in a snowstorm, and he was pretty drunk. And these two young women, students from the University of Alberta, were hitchhiking, and they saw him and they helped him. And they had no place to stay, so he invited them to his place, and he gave up his bed for them. And he sat, and while they slept, an exhausted sleep, he wrote this song in one sitting. Oh, the sisters of mercy, they are not departed or gone. They were waiting for me when I thought that I just can't go on. Then they brought me their comfort, and later they brought me their song. Oh, I hope you run into them, you who've been traveling so long. Yes, you who must leave everything that you cannot control. It begins with your family and later comes around to your soul. Well, I've been where you're hanging. I think I can see how you're pinned. When you're not feeling holy, your loneliness says that you've sinned. I lay down beside them. I made my confession to them. They touched both my eyes, and I touched the dew on their hem. If your life is a leaf that the seasons tear off and condemn, they will bind you with love that is graceful and green as a stem. When I left, they were sleeping. I hope you run into them soon. Don't turn on the light. You can read their address by the moon. And it won't make me jealous if I learn that they've sweetened your night. We weren't lovers like that, and besides, it would still be all right. We weren't lovers like that, and besides, it would still be all right.
Nice rendition.
Thank you. Thank you.
If your life is a leaf that the seasons tear off and condemn. What is it with these Canadians and leaves? We're going to do a Joni Mitchell song later about
leaves and snow and
pushed into the snow. Could be. I guess it's the maple leaf, huh? All right. Well, now.
And that's why they write beautiful lyrics, because it's so cold up there. They got nothing else to do but write good lyrics.
Gee, maybe we should turn down the thermostat. See what we come up with.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so we could sing Leonard Cohen love songs all night long, but I think I have to do a little explanation of why I picked this particular one.
Right.
I hear this song as a love song by a citizen of Canada for the United States. It's called Democracy is Coming to the USA. Not a prophecy, more like a prayer. And he sees that as a possibility coming from the most marginalized people in our society. And certainly more and more people are being pushed to the margins. And marginalized people in the world. And he offers this almost like a prayer. And maybe, what does he say? A little wild bouquet that he's holding up. So democracy is coming to the USA. May it be so, Leonard.
Yes.
It's coming through a hole in the air from those nights in Tiananmen Square. It's coming from the feel that this ain't exactly real, or it's real, but it ain't exactly there. From the wars against disorder, from the sirens night and day, from the fires of the homeless, from the ashes of the gay, democracy is coming to the USA. It's coming through a crack in the wall on a visionary flood of alcohol. From the staggering account of the Sermon on the Mount, which I don't pretend to understand at all. It's coming from the silence, from the dock of the bay, from the brave, the bold, the battered heart of Chevrolet. Democracy is coming to the USA. Sail on, sail on, oh mighty ship of state, to the shores of need, past the reefs of greed, through the squalls of hate. Sail on, sail on, sail on. It's coming to America first, the cradle of the best and of the worst. It's here they've got the range and the machinery for change, and it's here they've got the spiritual thirst. It's here the family's broken, and it's here the lonely say that the heart has got to open in a fundamental way. Democracy is coming to the USA. It's coming from the women and the men. Oh yeah, we'll be making love again. We'll be going down so deep that the river's gonna weep and the mountain's gonna shout amen. It's coming like the tidal flood beneath the lunar sway, imperial, mysterious, in amorous array. Democracy is coming to the USA. Sail on, sail on, oh mighty ship of state, to the shores of need, past the reefs of greed, through the squalls of hate. Sail on, sail on, sail on. I'm sentimental, if you know what I mean. I love the country, I just can't stand the scene. And I'm neither left nor right, I'm just staying home tonight, getting lost in this hopeless little stream. But I'm stubborn as the garbage bags that time cannot decay. I'm junk, but I'm still holding up this little wild bouquet. Democracy is coming to the USA. May it be so, Brother Leonard.
Yes, indeed. Maybe we should just be one of Canada's territories instead of the other way around. Oh, man. Yeah.
Well, we're going to stay in Canada here, huh?
Yeah, we're going to stay in Canada a little bit longer here. Yeah. Oh, I have to put a cable on. Oh, there it is. Yeah, this is Joni Mitchell. Also covered by Tom Rush. And you know the Tom Rush version. I learned the Joni Mitchell version. But yeah. We're going to try to put them together. I woke today and found the frost turned on the town. It hovered in a frozen sky, gobbled summer down. And when the sun turned traitor cold, and all the trees were shivering in the naked road, I get the urge for going, but I never seem to go. I get the urge for going when the meadow grass is turning brown and summertime is falling down and winter closing in. I had a man in summertime, he had summer-colored skin, and not another girl in town my darling's heart could win. But when the leaves fell to the ground and bully winds came around and pushed them face down in the snow, he got the urge for going, and I had to let him go. He got the urge for going when the meadow grass is turning brown and summertime was falling down and winter closing in.
Now the warriors of winter gave a cold, triumphant shout. All that stays is dying, all that lives is getting out. See the geese in chevron flight, flapping and racing on before the snow. They've got the urge for going, they've got the wings to go. They get the urge for going when the meadow grass is turning brown and Summertime is falling down, winter closing in. I'll ply the fire with kindling, pull the blankets to my chin. I'll lock the vagrant winter out and bolt my wandering in. I'd like to call back summertime, have her stay for just another month or so. But she's got the urge for going, so I guess she'll have to go. She gets the urge for going when the meadow grass is turning brown. All her empire's falling down, winter's closing in. And I get the urge for going when the meadow grass is turning brown and summertime is falling.
Beautiful lyrics. Beautiful song. Yeah.
I learned it from Tom Rush, but that was a Joni Mitchell ending, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And such beautiful imagery. God. So nice, so good. Well, this is a song that I wrote at the beginning of 2017. The first time. When the man wasn't quite as crazy as he is now. Because I felt that darkness descend upon us, and that darkness is still with us. And the only thing I think that keeps us going is love. I think love will always win out. And we have to keep hoping that. So I thought I could retire this song after his first term, but I have to bring it back. I was minding my own business, chasing demons in my head, while the devil was afoot, feeding off the dead, stripping off the tasty bits, devouring the best. Just a few things I need to get off my chest. 'Cause mindlessly we turn away, the heart is stopped, the skin is cold, as we watch this tragedy unfold. And endlessly we turn our backs, as the screams get louder, the blood turns black. The darkness that we knew was foretold. But we can change it, we can turn it into gold. We can stop the hatred from sickening our soul. We have the means, because love is on our side, always, forever, and now. All given permission for the bullies to misbehave, supporting them with silence, reticence, and shame. It's time to raise our sword, time to show our might, to throw back the curtain and let in the light. 'Cause mindlessly we turn away, the heart is stopped, the skin is cold, as we watch this tragedy unfold. endlessly we turn our backs. As the screams get louder, the blood turns black. The darkness that we knew was foretold. But we can change it. We can turn it into gold. We can stop the hatred from sickening our soul. We have the means because love is on our side, always, forever, and now.
Right on the money.
Thank you.
Don't you wish we could retire some of these songs?
Absolutely. I've got a couple that I had to bring back.
But I'm glad you're singing that.
Yeah. I am too. Yeah.
We got left a lesson in how to love and turn that adversity into gold, as you say in your song. Left to us by Tom Prasada Rao, another wonderful songwriter who's no longer with us. And
huge loss. Yeah.
He wrote this small miracle of a song that invites us and teaches us how to reach across the divides. You know, we have so much in common with people that vote differently, think differently, act differently. Tom was in sort of last stages of a long time battle with cancer at the beginning of the pandemic. And he was going through chemotherapy and very vulnerable. And he saw a picture online of a rally that was being held in Tennessee at the state capitol, protesting the fact that people were being asked to wear masks, that public places were being asked to suspend activities for a while until the pandemic kind of quieted down, until we figured out what we needed to do. But people at this rally in Tennessee, they didn't have any patience for that. And there was a young woman at the front of the crowd, and she was holding up a large sign, and the sign said, "Reopen Tennessee, sacrifice the weak." And I don't think there's any way that Tom could have looked at that sign and not felt that it was directly aimed at him. And with a remarkable spirit of empathy, he wrote a song in response to that, to the woman that held that sign. It's called Even You. You hold up your protest sign. It feels like the end of time. It's looking real tough tonight in the land of the free. It's right on my Facebook feed, all there for the world to read. And my heart starts to bleed. So this is for you. Whoever you are, whatever you've done, it's nothing that you can't overcome. Whatever it is that you're going through, even so, even now, even you. The world makes us enemies. That's not who you are to me. And I will still believe that we could be friends. I'm sure that you're struggling now. You know, I am too, and how? So let's make a simple vow. It's not how this ends. Whoever you are, whatever you've done, it's nothing that you can't overcome. Whatever it is you're still going through, even so, even now, even you. When it's impossible to right the wrong, there's still a refuge where we both belong. And wherever that is, we'll make it through. Even so, even now, even you. Even so, even me, even you. Impresara Rao.
Heartbreaking.
Presente.
Yes. What a beautiful man. What a loss. But his music lives on.
Someday it'll be saying that about us, Tret.
I know. Hopefully not for a while. My Norwegian genes, I hopefully will keep me here. Well, this is a love song. It's a songwriter's love song. Because I know a lot of people have asked Lauren, how do you put up with her singing songs about past love? And it's like, they're songs. The songs don't go away. The love may change, but the songs are forever. This is I call this an autobiographical look at love through the lens of time. It touches on 3 of the most important relationships in my life. My 20-year personal and professional relationship with Chris Williamson. My 10-year relationship with a woman in Madison, Wisconsin. My beautiful marriage to my wife, Lauren. Stone by stone. I had a life, it seemed so beautiful. I had a home, it was quite large. There were 2 horses and a studio, a great big fireplace, and I built the barn. 7 acres in the country. In 93, my mother died. For 7 years, somewhat numbly, we walked the pasture, stride by stride. It is amazing that life continues, and stone by stone we move along. I have a new life. Too is beautiful, and I keep the old inside my songs. I had a life, I lived in Madison, I had a home, and it was small, but it was cozy, it had a lot of sun, and I raked the leaves come every fall. For 10 good years it felt like home, until our lost love left me cold. I shoveled snow and did it all alone, and I kept my chin up, both brave and bold. It is amazing that life continues, and stone by stone we move along. I have a new life, it too is beautiful, and I keep the old inside my songs. I have a life near the ocean. I've traveled far for another shot, and I have children and great commotion, and a wife. Who would have thought? In all my years and all these miles, in all the shoes that I have worn, there is renewal once in a while. We die a little to be reborn. It is amazing how life continues, and stone by stone we move along. I have a new life, it too is beautiful, and I keep the old inside my songs.
What a good song.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm really glad you wrote that song.
I am too.
Yeah.
That was the first song I wrote during the pandemic. It became the title of my pandemic album.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm very fond of that song.
It's finished now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, this is an early song of mine at a period where a lot of times I sort of sing myself out of, I wouldn't say depression, but low spirits. And this was one of those examples. I had talked myself into a funk, went for a long walk in Manhattan, if you'll believe it. And by the time I got to my home on the Lower East Side, this song was pretty well formed. Been singing it ever since.
Great.
When wherever you look, the view is appalling, the villains are winning. The heroes are falling when all of your life needs a good overhaul, and when the end of the tunnel is dark, you gotta take the hard facts from wherever you look. You gotta boil them soft in your pressure cooker. Sometimes you're so sad, you gotta try happy. Pour yourself out in love. You go out with a frown, you find trouble waiting, you worry some busyness, a workshop of Satan. This world is a sweatshop, it needs recreating, but we're all working overtime. I invite you to take an unscheduled vacation, participate in a life transformation. Sometimes you feel you must dance to survive. Pour yourself out in love. This is your part. Love, 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 my friend. Pour yourself out in love. Love, 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 my friend. Pour yourself out in love. You say you're looking for love. Why don't you live it? Don't wait around for another to give it. Turn yourself on this melodious pivot, and you'll find your face in the sun. This world doesn't need another go-getter, so be a go-giver. You'll find it much better. I tell you, you get much more than you give when you pour yourself out in love, and then sing love, 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 my friend. Pour yourself out in love. You can sing love, 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 my friend. Pour yourself out in love. Now can you believe this song grew out of sadness? A worrisome downtime of self-serving madness. When I hit bottom, I opted for gladness, not knowing how high I could bounce. Ooh, I had emptied myself out as a worrisome grumbler, so I filled myself up to the brim of the tumbler, then wrote the song to tip myself over and pour myself out in love. And I sang love, 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 my friend. I poured myself out in love. Won't you sing love, 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 my friend? Pour yourself out in love. You gotta pour yourself out without hesitation. Give of yourself without calculation. This very smart world lacks imagination. We're boring ourselves to death. I invite you to take an unscheduled vacation. Participate in a life transformation. Sometimes you feel you must dance to survive. Pour yourself out in love and then sing love, 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 my friend. Pour yourself out in love. You can sing love, 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 my friend. Pour yourself out in love. Love, 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 my friend. Pour yourself out in love, love. Pour yourself out in love.
Nice. Be a go-giver. I love that line. That's a bumper sticker.
Well, you know, I can't take credit for it. It was from a form of writing called easy essays, and they were made by a man named Peter Morin, who was a French peasant, day laborer, came to the United States and worked his way around the country and finally made it to the Lower East Side, New York, where he ran into Dorothy Day and said, you know, we ought to start a newspaper, maybe a house of hospitality, maybe some farms to grow food so we can feed people. And the Catholic worker movement was started.
Oh, wow.
Dorothy was always fond of saying, love in practice is a harsh and dreadful thing. She's quoting Dostoevsky. And so here's an upbeat, lighthearted song about love as a harsh and dreadful thing that was written by Iris DeMent. I don't want to cast a shadow on it. It's a great, lively song, but she deals with some pretty heavy stuff, and she reminds us that, you know, love goes on. Love goes on.
Right.
Warriors of love.
Warriors of love. Yeah. We need more warriors of love, for sure. Ooh.
And this is an invitation to that. Oh, you know, we ought to say that this is the last song of the set.
Yes, it is.
So, gosh.
I've had a blast.
How many people are here? Over 30 people showed up. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And thanks to all the wonderful songwriters who graced us with their songs this evening, whether they knew it or not. And
right. Yeah.
Thanks to you, Tret. I so much enjoy working with you. It's just
it's very mutual.
Extreme, really. So it's wonderful.
Very mutual. I love it too, Charlie. I love doing these shows with you.
Maybe we should do something live together on stage.
There's a thought.
So
we did it once. Let's do it again.
Yeah, at the end of the year in December, Tret and I are going to get together and we're going to do some singing in Massachusetts and New York first weekend in December. So keep an eye open to our websites and our emails about all that.
Right. Absolutely.
And thanks to Grace McHenry for all the work she did.
Thank you, Grace, so much. Yes.
Always a joy to work with Grace.
Absolutely.
So, and stick around. We'll open up the gallery after the song and get a chance to chat with all of you. Tell you how grateful we are that you're here.
Absolutely. All right. Here we go. John Lewis stood on the Pettus Bridge. His life he was ready to give to break the bonds of tyranny and live a life with dignity. 600 strong, they marched straight into a sea of blue, trampled by horses, tear-gassed, and billy clubbed too. But all this and such don't mean amount to much to the great warriors of love.
Rachel Corey, she laid it on the line when she took her stand for Palestine. Bulldozers rolled, she wouldn't budge. She had her feet planted down deep in that little old thing called love. Though her life ended violently, her gentle spirit's here with you and me, and she lights up the stars above, that brave young warrior of love. Some still among us soldier on, some from the flesh now have gone, but they've paved the very road we're traveling on, our great warriors of love.
Look around you, you will see people still building the beloved community. In every corner of this earth, you'll find people in a fix, willing to risk an early ride in a hearse. We got folks who don't bend, folks who don't bow. They get right up to Goliath and shoot their shot somehow. Now it's on us to be worthy of our great warriors of love. Some still among us soldier on, some from the flesh now have gone, but they've paved the very road we're traveling on, our great warriors of love.
Ooh. Great ending, Tret. Thank you.
Yeah, great song.
Yeah.
Great song. You found some great songs, Charlie.
Let's see who's here.
Yeah.
My. Oh,
Hello, everybody.
Hello,
Hi.
guys.
Nice to see
Hey,
you.
Bob. Cheryl and Ben, not in that order. Hey, Dale, Janine, good to see
Charlie.
you.
Hi,
Tret.
Charlie. Hi, Tret.
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
How you all doing? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Great.
Wonderful.
So I got to ask, Tret, Robert is your cousin, your brother, your...
Robert is my oldest brother. Is he here?
Welcome, Robert.
Is president accounted for waiting for Blue Navy Blue?
Is that an old party song of yours?
That's an old song that I wrote. I didn't write it. No, I used to play it in high school. My dad was in the Navy, and he made me play that
Sure,
song
I know the song.
all the time. Blue Navy Blue, I'm as blue as I can be.
Because my soldier boy said,
Said ship ahoy and join the Navy.
That's all you get, Robert.
Thanks, Rob, for reminding me
I
of that.
prefer the later versions.
Oh, that's great. That's
Sydney, you're all bundled up there. Are you okay?
No, I'm having a flu. And I'm
Oh. Well, thank you so much for coming out.
yeah.
in. The beauty of this is I can be in and be with you.
Another reason that online concerts are good.
Yeah.
You can still go to a concert.
Yeah,
I
good to
know.
see
I mean,
you.
it really has
Mary Sue
opened up.
Esteban, thanks for coming.
It really has opened up audiences. It's like before the pandemic, I was thinking, how am I going to keep performing? My audience is aging out, and they can't drive at night or go out. And here we are. It's a beautiful thing.
We got a foot of snow here, so
Yeah.
we're not going anywhere tonight.
Yeah, we weren't going anywhere.
No.
Yeah, not us either.
Well, what do you say we do another song and call it a night?
That sounds like a great idea.
Good.
We will we'll leave you with a beautiful song by Joan Baez. All the weary mothers of the earth will finally rest. We will take their babies in our arms and do our best. When the sun is low upon the field, to love and music they will yield, and the weary mothers of the earth shall rest.
And the farmer on his tractor and beside his plow will stand there in confusion as we wet his brow with the tears of all the businessmen who see what they have done to him. And the weary farmers of the earth shall rest.
And the aching workers of the world again shall sing these words of mighty choruses to all will bring. We shall no longer be the poor, for no one owns us anymore. And the workers of the world again shall sing.
And when the soldiers burn their uniforms in every land, the foxholes at the borders will be left unmanned. General, when you come for your review, the troops will all have forgotten you. And the men and women of the earth shall rest.
And the men and women of the earth shall rest.
Thank you, Joan Baez. Thank you,
Joan
Tret
Baez.
Fury.
Thank you, Charlie
Thank
King.
you.
Thank you all.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Much love to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie and Tret.
You're so welcome.
Everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Good
you,
night,
Charlie.
everybody.
Thank you. Tret.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks so